First class is for VIPs only. You don't look the part. That's what Jessica Brooks, a uniformed flight attendant, said as she snatched Lauren Carter's boarding pass and ripped it in half without hesitation. Her tone wasn't confused. It wasn't uncertain. It was sharp, cold, and deliberate, like she had already decided Lauren didn't belong. What Jessica didn't know, what none of the crew knew, was that the woman she just humiliated in front of a plane full of people was the CEO and 100% owner of the airline she worked for. In less than 10 minutes, Jessica would be off that plane, her career in shambles, exposed by recordings, public outrage, and a woman who built her company from the ground up. But before we dive into this unbelievable story of prejudice, power, and accountability, let me ask you, where are you watching from? Drop your city in the comments. And if you believe in standing up for what's right, hit that like button, subscribe, and help us share this story with people who still believe dignity is not a luxury. It's a right. Now let's go back to JFK Airport. It's 4:24 in the afternoon. The gate is boarding for a flight to Chicago. Lauren Carter, a 42-year-old black woman in a tailored Navy suit, walks confidently toward the first-class cabin. Right behind her is Emily Harris, her 36-year-old assistant from New Jersey, holding a neatly folded dress for a charity gala they're attending that evening. Both women are calm, professional, and carry themselves with grace. They aren't just flying. They're representing something bigger, a mission to raise funds for African children and showcase how far hard work can take you. Their seats, 1A and 1B, are confirmed, paid in full, platinum loyalty verified. But the moment they cross into the cabin, everything shifts. Jessica steps forward, blocking their path. "Excuse me, ladies," she says, scanning them up and down. "I need you to step aside. There's a seating issue," Lauren replies. "We're in first class, 1A and 1B. Jessica shrugs. "We've had complaints from other passengers." Emily frowns. "Complaints? About what?" Before they get an answer, a well-dressed older couple nearby speaks up. Charles Bennett, in a pale linen blazer, waves a $500 bill toward the crew. "Move them," he says. "They don't belong here," his wife Diane adds with a cold laugh. "You can't just buy class." Lauren remains calm. "We have valid tickets." Jessica gives a tight smile. "I don't see your names on the seating log." She turns to Ryan Mitchell, another attendant, who barely glances at his tablet before shaking his head. "Nope, they're not on the list." Then he leans just slightly and tilts a cup of coffee forward, spilling it down the front of Emily's ivory suit. "Oops," he says, not sounding sorry at all. "Maybe you'd be more comfortable in economy," Emily gasps, trying to wipe it up. "You did that on purpose." Ryan just shrugs. From the front of the cabin, Captain David Pierce emerges. "What's going on?" Jessica gestures at Lauren. "They're trying to sit in first class without proper verification." David looks Lauren up and down, then reaches out. "Boarding pass and ID." Lauren hands both over. He squints. "This could be fake. Looks doctored." Lauren stays composed. "It's real. Scan it." "I said it could be fake," he says sharply. "I don't take orders from passengers." A moment later, Security Officer Sarah Walsh steps up. "Move to the back or get off the plane. I don't care who you think you are." Her tone is cold, practiced, but not everyone on board agrees. Ava Lang, a young trainee flight attendant, watches from the galley, horrified. "They scanned in just fine. I saw the tickets." "Quiet, Ava." Jessica snaps. "Not your place." From across the cabin, a passenger speaks up, Olivia Larson, white, mid-30s, dressed like someone used to boardrooms and red eyes. She pulls out her phone. "This is disgusting," she says. "I'm recording this." 2 rows behind, Ethan Grant follows suit. "Same here. They did nothing wrong." Lauren quietly hits record on her phone. So does Emily. Ava hesitates, then presses record as well. Olivia uploads a clip to X. Horizon Airlines removes black women from first class. Within minutes, it racks up 1,000 views. Ethan's TikTok shows Ryan's coffee accident and the crew's smug expressions. His caption reads, "Discrimination in plain sight." Comments roll in. "Justice now. Horizon's a disgrace. Fire that crew." Flyer writes, "I'm canceling my ticket with them. This is outrageous." Jessica sees Olivia filming and grabs Lauren's torn pass again. "This isn't your place," she hisses. "Economy is down the aisle." Sarah steps forward. "Move now or you're off the plane." Lauren doesn't move. Instead, she pulls out a black Platinum Horizon card and holds it up. "You want verification? Start with this." David scoffs. "Anyone can buy one of those online?" Diane laughs. "Oh, she's really trying to prove something now." Charles leans forward and mutters, "You people always have a chip on your shoulder." Emily clutches her coat tighter. Lauren doesn't flinch. She calmly dials a number on her phone. "Claire, I need you at gate 12. Claire Evans, Horizon's managing director, answers instantly. "I'm here," Olivia calls out. "I hope someone higher up sees this mess," Lauren replies, almost to herself. "She will." Meanwhile, Ava walks back toward the galley and overhears Jessica whispering to Ryan. "No record for Carter. I scrubbed it before we boarded." Ryan chuckles. "She's nobody. She'll be gone in 5. Ava's eyes go wide. She turns and walks back into the cabin, shaken. Passengers around her murmur, some already uploading their own versions of what's happening. Lauren looks directly at Jessica, then Ryan, then David. Her voice is low, steady, full of calm fire. "You're not just humiliating a passenger. You're humiliating your employer." No one reacts. Not yet. But they will. And they'll regret it. David Pierce's voice cut through the first-class cabin like a slap to the face. "You have 30 seconds to move to economy, or you'll be removed by security." His tone wasn't professional. It was personal. Lauren Carter didn't budge. Neither did Emily. Both women stood calmly, not raising their voices, not reacting with anger. But the tension was unmistakable. Ryan Mitchell snickered from near the galley. "Rent a suit much?" he said, looking directly at Lauren's tailored outfit like it was some costume instead of a sign of her success. Jessica stepped up beside him, grabbing Emily's phone right out of her hand. "This is contraband. We don't allow unauthorized filming," she said. Even though everyone knew Olivia and Ethan were filming openly from their seats and hadn't been touched, Charles Bennett muttered. "They're lucky we didn't just have them arrested," Diane added with a shrug. "Probably stole those tickets anyway." Security Officer Sarah Walsh was standing stiff near the row divider, arms crossed. "Clock's ticking," she warned. "I'm trying to be nice, but I will drag you off if I have to." Lauren turned to her assistant and said quietly, "Make sure Claire has the files." Emily nodded, pulling out a backup phone from her bag. Ava, the trainee, stood frozen halfway between the aisle and the galley, looking back and forth between the senior crew and the 2 women who were now clearly being targeted. "They've got valid tickets," she said again, this time louder. "They scanned in clean. I was right there." David shook his head like she'd spoken out of turn. "You're too green to understand how things work," he said dismissively. Then he turned back to Lauren. "You're trouble." Ava stepped back in shock. Lauren didn't flinch. She never did. Olivia, still recording from her seat, posted another video. "Horizon crew mocks black passengers on camera." Her upload was immediately followed by Ethan's. "Disrespect and racism on Horizon flight. It gets worse." Within minutes, the videos climbed past 25,000 views. Comments poured in. "Boycott Horizon. Crew needs to be fired, now. This is everything wrong with air travel today." Passengers around the cabin started whispering. murmuring about what they were seeing. Some looked at Lauren with concern, others at the crew with disbelief. A woman in 3C muttered, "Did he really say trouble? She didn't even raise her voice." Lauren's mind went back for a moment, just briefly, to when she was 22 years old. A similar flight, a different airline. Denied first class for no reason other than how she looked. That moment had stung like nothing else and stayed with her for decades. It had driven her, fueled her ambition. And now, here she was, owning the airline, and still facing the same ugly truth. But this time, she wasn't going to walk away quietly. This time, she had power, she had evidence, and she had support. Emily whispered, "Claire's waiting at the gate. Do you want me to send the audio?" Lauren nodded. "Everything." Ava hovered nearby, quietly turning on her recorder again. David didn't notice. Neither did Jessica or Ryan. They were too busy looking smug. "We've had issues with this kind before," Ryan said to Jessica under his breath. But Ava heard it, clear as day. Olivia stood up from her seat now, saying aloud, "I've flown Horizon for years. I've never seen anything like this. This is straight-up discrimination." Ethan chimed in, "This crew's lost their minds." Jessica rolled her eyes. "Let's get this over with." Lauren turned to David again. "You're done." David leaned forward. "Who do you think you're talking to?" Lauren answered. "The wrong person." Ava stepped forward again. "They paid. They belong here," Jessica snapped. "I said economy is waiting." Olivia pointed her phone toward her. "Why? What did they do wrong?" Ethan stood up halfway. "Yeah, explain it. In front of everyone. On camera." Sarah shifted uneasily now, sensing the pressure building. Then Ava dropped the bomb. She held up her phone and said loud enough for the row to hear. "They took the money. I heard Jessica and Ryan laughing about the $500 the Bennetts handed over." The entire row went quiet. Jessica froze. "You're lying," she hissed. Ava didn't flinch. "You said she wasn't a VIP. You said no one would find out." Ryan turned pale. "You don't know what you heard." "I do," Ava said. "And I recorded it." Passengers began murmuring louder. "Wait, they took a bribe?" someone asked. "Is that legal?" another whispered. Olivia posted a third video, including Ava's statement, "Horizon bribery scandal. Crew accepts cash to move black passengers." Ethan posted a photo of the $500 bill that Charles still hadn't tucked away. His caption read, "Crew caught red-handed." Within minutes, both clips were over 4,000 views. Lauren turned and looked directly at David. "Your corruption is now public. You still want to double down?" David opened his mouth but didn't speak. For the first time, he looked nervous. Ava continued, voice shaking slightly but still clear. "They were laughing about it in the galley. They changed the seating log. I heard them." Jessica glared at her. "You'll regret this." "I already do," Ava replied. "I regret staying quiet earlier." A man from row 2 stood up. "Captain, we deserve an explanation." David said nothing, just clenched his jaw. Olivia crossed her arms. "You owe her an apology." Ethan raised his voice. "You owe this entire flight an apology." Lauren turned slightly, scanning the first-class section, meeting the eyes of the people who were watching this unfold. She didn't have to raise her voice. Her presence was enough. "You wanted to humiliate me," she said. "You succeeded, briefly. But now your words, your actions, your bias are all on record." The cabin was silent for a beat. Then someone clapped. One soft, deliberate clap. Then another, and another. A ripple of quiet support. Not loud, not dramatic, but present. She turned to Emily. "Claire's still outside?" "Yes," Emily said. "Waiting." Lauren nodded once. "Let her in." She looked to Ava. "You've been brave. Thank you." Then she turned to the rest of the cabin and said firmly, "This isn't over." And it wasn't. Not even close. The intercom crackled overhead, and what came next turned the cabin from tense to explosive. "This is Captain Pierce. Due to a disruption involving passengers who've failed to meet our exclusivity standards for first class, we are requesting their removal for the comfort of our premium guests." The words landed like a slap to every ear listening. Olivia gasped out loud. Ethan dropped his phone into his lap for a second, stunned. "Did he just say exclusivity standards?" Someone murmured behind them. Lauren didn't move. She stood rooted by her seat, eyes fixed on the cockpit door. Emily's jaw dropped. "He just said that into the intercom?" "Yep," Lauren replied, her voice calm, but her hands were clenched so tightly her knuckles had turned white. Jessica, emboldened, marched back down the aisle toward them, grabbed Lauren's carry-on bag from the overhead bin, and without warning, jammed it hard into a compartment below, breaking the leather handle clean off. "That's how we deal with delays," she muttered. Ryan moved to stand between Emily and the aisle, preventing her from sitting. "Rules are rules," he said, smirking. Sarah, still playing the enforcer, leaned toward Lauren. "This is your last chance. We drag people off planes all the time. Don't think we won't do it to you." Olivia stood up. "Enough!" she shouted. "I just recorded that intercom announcement. Are you kidding me? He admitted to racism. That's what exclusivity means here?" Ethan stood up beside her. "This is outrageous, and it's all on tape." The videos hit the internet like gasoline hitting flame. Olivia's post. "Horizon captain admits racism on intercom. Crossed 75,000 views in 15 minutes. Ethan's matching clip, titled, "Horizon crew attacks black passengers in first class." Hit the same mark. The comments were brutal and relentless. "Horizon, are you serious? That captain needs to be gone today. This is systemic racism in plain view," one user wrote. "You can't fix this with a statement. Fire them." Another, "You just handed a PR disaster to the public on a silver platter." Back inside the cabin, passengers began shifting in their seats, not just physically, but emotionally. The silence that had once been awkward was now charged with righteous discomfort. Whispers turned into muttering. A few passengers started filming too. Lauren turned to Ava. "Do you still have that audio?" Ava nodded. "Of everything. The bribe, the fake manifest, the intercom. Send it all to Claire," Lauren said. "Now." Olivia walked up and stood beside them. "We're with you," she said. "This crew's corrupt." Ethan followed, phone still filming. "We've got your back. This airline's better than this." Jessica saw the circle forming and barked. "Everyone, back to your seats." But no one listened. Lauren stepped past Ryan, standing now fully in the aisle. "You've done enough," she said. "You spilled coffee on my assistant. You ripped my boarding pass. You mocked our clothing. You questioned my ID. And now you're calling us unworthy of first class. All because we don't look like the Bennetts." Charles huffed from his seat. "You people always make it about race," Diane added. "If you don't like the service, maybe fly somewhere else." "This is my airline," Lauren said, her voice suddenly calm, deliberate. "And your time here is over." David stepped out of the cockpit again, face flushed, clearly rattled. "Are you threatening my crew?" "No," Lauren replied. "I'm exposing them." Passengers were now openly standing. A man near row 4 said, "She said it's her airline." "What does that mean?" A woman behind him replied. "Maybe she's a shareholder or something." Ava looked at Lauren. "Do I tell them who you are?" Lauren shook her head. "Not yet. Let them finish digging." Jessica turned and pulled Sarah aside. "They're ganging up on us." Sarah looked conflicted now, watching Olivia's screen in real time. You said there were complaints, Sarah said slowly. But I didn't see any incident report. They were verbal, Jessica snapped. And disruptive. Ethan turned to her. I've been sitting here the whole time. I haven't heard these women raise their voices once. Not even once, Olivia agreed. Just you, screaming orders and lying through your teeth. David looked at Jessica. We need to call corporate. It's too late, Emily said. Claire is already at the gate. She's seen the videos. Jessica paled. Ryan backed up toward the galley. This is getting out of hand. Olivia pulled up her live feed. Turning her phone so they could all see the comment section, the words flew by in real time. Captain should be grounded immediately. Let the CEO speak. She's the CEO? Lauren heard that one. Her eyes narrowed. Then she turned to Olivia and said softly, Not yet. Give it one more minute. At that moment, David leaned toward Sarah and muttered, Let's just say there was a disturbance. If we spin it right, maybe we can say she pushed someone. Ava heard it, and she played it back. Right there on her phone speaker. David's voice, clear as day. Let's just say there was a disturbance. The passengers around them went silent again. Then the murmurs turned angry. They're planning to lie? That's criminal. He just said it out loud. Lauren took one step forward, lifted her chin, and said firmly, Captain Pierce, you've just confessed to fabricating an incident to cover up racial bias. That's not what I said. It's on tape, Ava cut in. And I'm forwarding it to corporate right now. Jessica started whispering furiously to Ryan. Sarah turned to Lauren. Do you have anyone with authority to intervene? Lauren smiled. I do. And right on cue. The gate door opened. Claire Evans, polished and focused, stepped on board. She didn't wait for introductions. Lauren, she said, you all right? I've been better. Lauren replied. David tried to approach Claire. There's been a misunderstanding, he said quickly. You don't understand the full story. Oh, I do, Claire said, holding up her phone. I've seen every angle, every post, every clip, including your intercom announcement. Claire turned to Lauren. Ready? Lauren nodded once. Yes, let's finish this. Olivia posted her fourth video. This one was different. This one had a title people weren't expecting. CEO of Horizon Airlines arrives at gate. Crew in trouble. Ethan's matching post said. Captain just got outranked. Views spiked instantly. 100,000, then 12,500, then 15,000, and still. Lauren hadn't said who she was, not yet, but she would, very soon, and when she did, the whole country would know. Captain David Pierce didn't even have time to regroup before Lauren turned to face him fully, voice low but razor sharp. You still think this is a misunderstanding? She asked. You still think you're in control? Before he could reply, Jessica Brooks shoved forward again, grabbing Emily's shoulder. Let's go, she snapped. This is over. Emily pulled back, firm. Don't touch me. But Jessica wasn't done. She looked Lauren up and down and spat out. Fake gala, fake tickets, fake ID. You're lucky we don't report you to TSA. Charles Bennett chimed in from his aisle seat with a sneer. You'll never belong here. You're just making a scene, Diane added coldly. You're scum and silk. Sarah Walsh, still trying to do her job, stepped toward Lauren again. But passengers were moving now, not just watching, but standing, blocking her path. A man from row 3 stepped forward. This is wrong, he said. You can't manhandle people over lies. Ava, standing behind the beverage cart, tapped her phone to replay the recording of Jessica and Ryan laughing about the bribe. Olivia's video climbed past 15,000 views in real time. Don't touch her, Olivia shouted, filming everything. We've got you on tape. Ethan followed. You're on every platform now. TikTok, X, Facebook. You're not just going viral. You're being exposed. Sarah paused, unsure, eyes shifting between the rising passengers and the chaos among her crew. Claire stepped to the side, arms folded, calm but ready. Lauren looked at her. You ready? Claire nodded. They're all watching. Jessica tried one more time, voice shrill now. Security, she barked. Get them out, David snapped. I'll call operations. Please do, Claire said coolly. Put them on speaker. The moment felt frozen in time, like the whole cabin held its breath. Then Lauren stepped forward, calmly brushed her jacket sleeve, and said, Enough. Her voice didn't shake, her posture didn't bend. Let me make this simple, she said. I'm Lauren Carter, CEO and 100% owner of Horizon Airlines, and none of you work for me anymore. The reaction wasn't instant. It was stunned silence, the kind that takes a second to process. Olivia's phone picked up her shocked gasp. Ethan blinked and whispered, No way, a woman in 2D mouthed. Did she just say CEO? Jessica actually laughed, short, nervous. You? You're not. Yes, Claire interrupted. She is. And I've already notified the board. Ryan looked like he'd seen a ghost. She's lying. You can't just fire people on a plane. Lauren turned to him, voice clipped. I just did. Passengers gasped audibly. Olivia's hands were shaking as she tried to steady her phone. This is justice, she said. This is history, Ethan shouted over the cabin. You all just harassed your boss, on camera. Jessica's face crumbled. Wait. She looked at David. You knew something, right? David was pale. I thought she was bluffing. You thought wrong, Lauren said. And now, you're finished. Claire stepped forward. Effective immediately. Captain Pierce, you're removed from this flight. Jessica Brooks and Ryan Mitchell, also removed. Security will escort you out. Sarah flinched. Am I being removed? Lauren looked at her for a moment. You followed orders, but your threats crossed a line. You'll be evaluated. Training might give you a second chance. For now, step aside. Sarah nodded slowly and stepped back. Ava stood frozen, unsure. Claire turned to her. You, stay, Lauren added. You're the reason the truth came out. Ava blinked. Wait, me? You recorded what others tried to bury, Lauren said. You stood up when others stayed silent. You're being promoted, effective immediately. Passengers started clapping. It wasn't polite. It wasn't scattered. It was loud. Unified applause, relief, vindication, pride. Olivia filmed through tears. We just witnessed a takedown like no other. Ethan leaned toward his camera. CEO walks on her own flight, catches crew lying, and fires them on the spot. I've never seen anything like it, Charles grumbled from his seat. Typical quota hire pulling stunts, Diane hissed. You're embarrassing yourself. Lauren turned slowly toward them. You'll be escorted out as well. Horizon Airlines has no room for open racists. Claire gave the signal. Gate agents are waiting. Passengers cleared the aisle as security approached. Jessica tried to whisper something to Ryan, but he pulled away, sweating. This is all your fault, he muttered. You took the damn money. Olivia's next video bore the title, CEO fires entire crew on her own flight. Ethan's upload said, Epic takedown on Horizon, CEO ends racism in real time. Within 10 minutes, they hit 25,000 views. Comments flooded in. Legendary. Justice served. I'd fly with her airline any day. One said simply, This gives me hope. David still wouldn't move. This isn't how terminations work. Lauren faced him. No, this is how accountability works. Claire stepped in again. A replacement crew is already at the gate. Megan Larson, Chris Patel, and Captain Rachel Morgan will be airborne shortly. Lauren nodded. They're approved, Jessica suddenly burst. Okay, fine. You want the truth? We've been doing this for months. Moving passengers. Forging logs. We didn't know she was anyone. Okay? We thought. That they wouldn't fight back? Lauren asked. That nobody would notice? Ryan backed away. I didn't forge anything, Ava said quietly. I have audio of you telling Jessica to change the manifest. David looked at Claire. I didn't know who she was, I swear. Claire stared him down. You shouldn't have to know someone's title to treat them like a human being. Lauren nodded slowly, turning back toward the passengers. This is what bias looks like, she said. It wears a uniform. It smiles to your face while cutting you down. But today, we cut it out. The entire first-class cabin erupted again, not with whispers, but standing applause. Olivia was openly crying. Ethan just whispered. Incredible. Claire turned to Lauren. Tomorrow's board meeting is confirmed. Robert and Lisa are already reviewing the videos. They'll see it all, Emily added. Lauren finally sat down in seat 1A. Shoulders relaxed, but her voice still firm. They'll see everything. Lauren Carter didn't need to raise her voice to command the entire cabin's attention. She simply stood once more, eyes steady, posture unwavering, and said, Let me be clear for everyone on board and everyone watching online. I am Lauren Carter, founder, CEO, and 100% owner of Horizon Airlines. This aircraft, this crew, this brand, it's mine. The silence that followed was electric. Passengers turned in their seats. A flight attendant from economy peeked forward with wide eyes. Even the gate agents on standby froze. What you witnessed, Lauren continued, was not just a violation of policy. It was a betrayal of everything this company stands for. The people charged with your safety and dignity chose prejudice, greed, and deceit instead. Claire Evans stepped beside her, nodding. Captain David Pierce, Jessica Brooks, Ryan Mitchell, your employment with Horizon Airlines is terminated effective immediately. Security is waiting outside. You are no longer authorized to be aboard this aircraft or represent this company in any capacity. Jessica let out a choking noise, like disbelief had caught in her throat. You can't fire me like this, she snapped. Not in front of passengers. I can, Lauren replied. Because you didn't just violate policy. You humiliated my guests, endangered our reputation, and forged records to cover up racial targeting, Ryan muttered. This is insane. No, what's insane, Lauren countered, is how confidently you acted under the assumption that no one would hold you accountable. David tried again. I made a mistake. But Claire cut him off. You made a decision. One you can't undo now. Lauren turned slightly, gesturing toward the front of the plane. Replacement crew has arrived. Megan Larson, Chris Patel, and Captain Rachel Morgan. We'll be boarding them now. As the cabin door opened, the incoming team entered quietly and professionally. The energy shifted instantly. Rachel, tall and calm, nodded to the cabin. We'll begin pre-flight as soon as cleared. Olivia filmed every moment. She just replaced the whole crew. Live. Ethan's video, titled Horizon CEO Fires Racist Crew, replaces on the spot, hit 25,000 views within minutes. Comments poured in. Legendary leadership. She's my new hero. This is how you fix a broken system. Claire handed the manifest to Megan, now lead flight attendant. You're cleared to begin service. Lauren turned to Ava, who was still frozen near the rear jump seat. Ava Lang, she said, voice warm but firm. You've shown more integrity today than some people do in a career. I'm promoting you to senior flight attendant, effective immediately. Ava's mouth dropped. Are you serious? You stood up when it mattered, Lauren said. That's the kind of person I want representing this company. Ava blinked hard and nodded, eyes glassy. Olivia caught the moment on camera, saying softly, "She's changing lives in real time." Ryan made one last attempt to speak. "You don't understand. This isn't just us. We were told." Lauren's head tilted. "Told what?" "We were told to keep the premium section pure. Those were the words." Ryan said, "A regional manager told us last quarter that we were losing elite passengers because," and I quote, "the wrong kind of people were creeping into first class." The cabin went silent again. "So, what?" Lauren asked. "You decided that meant targeting black passengers? That it was open season?" Ryan looked down. "We were rewarded for it." "Promotions?" Claire asked. "Flight priority." Ryan said, "Schedules, per diem bumps. You play along. You benefit." Lauren took a breath, deep and even. "Thank you for admitting it. That confirms we have a systemic problem, one that starts above you." She turned to Claire. "Launch a full audit. I want every staffing record, every incident report, every seating complaint reviewed for the last 18 months. "Already in motion," Claire replied. "We've got the ops team pulling the data now." Sarah Walsh, who had remained silent since being offered a second chance, finally spoke. "I want to do better. I didn't know it was that deep. I was just doing what I thought was protocol." Lauren looked at her carefully. "You followed orders." "Yes. But you had a choice in how you enforced them. You chose threats. That's not who we are. But I believe in growth, not just punishment. You'll be suspended from flight duty pending retraining. If you pass, you'll be reinstated. With new leadership." Sarah nodded slowly, humbly. "Thank you. I won't let you down." Olivia caught that too, whispering into her mic. "She's firm, but fair. This is what justice with dignity looks like." Ethan turned his camera and said, "You're watching real leadership, not just a PR stunt. She's cleaning house." Charles and Diane, still seated in smug silence, finally spoke up. "This is a disgrace to aviation," Charles hissed. "We'll sue," Diane added. "You'll be hearing from our lawyer." Lauren didn't flinch. "Your payment to crew in exchange for someone else's seat is already on video. You'll be banned from flying with Horizon permanently. Your threats mean nothing to me." Claire nodded. "A formal letter will follow. Security will escort you to another carrier." Olivia's next upload, titled "Horizon CEO Bans Racist Passengers on the Spot," crossed 500,000 views by the time boarding resumed. Ethan's "New Era Begins Mid-Flight" hit trending on TikTok. Comment after comment praised Lauren's grace and decisiveness. She didn't just talk, she acted. More CEOs need this kind of backbone. "I'd fly Horizon tomorrow." Inside the cabin, energy shifted dramatically. First-class passengers clapped as the new crew took their positions. Some leaned forward to shake Lauren's hand. Others just nodded, silent respect in their eyes. Ava passed out towels and water as if she'd always been senior staff. Rachel called the cockpit checklist, and Megan helped Emily stow her bag. Claire sat in the front jump seat, checking her messages. Emily leaned toward Lauren and said softly, "Board meetings confirmed for tomorrow morning. Robert and Lisa will join in person." "Good," Lauren replied. "This is just the beginning." From the aisle, Olivia stepped up one last time. "Ms. Carter, I've been flying for 20 years. I've never seen anything like this. You just changed how people look at airline leadership." Lauren offered a gentle smile. "I didn't come here to make a scene. I came to fly. But I will never let people be mistreated on my watch. Not on my plane. Not in my name." Ethan, adjusting his camera, asked, "Do you have a message for the folks watching this at home?" Lauren looked into the lens, calm and powerful. "If you ever feel like you don't belong in a space you've earned, remember this moment. Don't back down. Stand your ground, and never forget. Dignity flies first class. 2. Passengers applauded again. And for the first time that day, Lauren exhaled. As the aircraft door shut once more, and the last of the disgraced crew disappeared down the jet bridge escorted by security, Lauren Carter stood just inside the first-class cabin and took in the silence. It wasn't awkward anymore. It was relieved. The replacement crew had slipped in seamlessly, already prepping for takeoff. Captain Rachel Morgan gave a calm nod from the flight deck, and Megan Larson began offering warm towels like they were starting the flight fresh. Lauren turned to Jessica, Ryan, and David one final time as they stood clustered awkwardly near the galley, now fully removed from duty. Jessica Brooks, Ryan Mitchell, and Captain David Pierce, you are suspended from Horizon Airlines pending termination proceedings, Lauren said clearly, her voice even, her words deliberate. These actions are based on confirmed evidence of racial bias, falsification of documents, and accepting bribes from passengers to displace others. Your conduct not only violated protocol, it endangered our brand and betrayed the values we claim to stand for. Ryan looked like he wanted to protest, but didn't. Jessica's arms were crossed tight across her chest, eyes darting around for support that wasn't there. David, normally authoritative and sharp, just looked small. Claire stepped beside Lauren. You'll be notified in writing within 24 hours. Legal and HR are fully briefed. Then Lauren turned to Sarah Walsh. You crossed a line today, but you weren't the one plotting behind the scenes. You'll be placed on administrative leave. If you choose to enter a retraining program and pass, you may return to service under new leadership. Sarah nodded slowly, visibly shaken but grateful. Thank you, she whispered. I want to do better. Lauren offered no smile, but her tone softened. Then start now. Integrity isn't a department. It's a decision. Behind them, passengers clapped again, some politely, others fiercely. One elderly man in 3A even stood to shake Lauren's hand a day. That took gut, he said. Thank you. Olivia and Ethan were still filming, narrating each development for thousands watching live. Olivia turned the camera back on herself. You are witnessing not just accountability, but reform, happening in real time, Ethan added. This isn't a performance. This is leadership. Lauren motioned to Ava Lang, now in her upgraded uniform with a new name badge already pinned on. Ava, you're officially our new senior flight attendant for this route. You earned it today with courage and clarity. Ava blinked. Thank you. I don't know what to say. Just keep doing what you did today, Lauren replied. Speak up, even when it's hard, especially then. Claire stepped aside to check her tablet. Passenger compensation has already been logged for everyone in the cabin. A formal apology letter from corporate is scheduled to go out by morning. Megan walked by offering bottled water. Lauren took one and quietly asked, Is the cabin calm now? Megan smiled. The passengers are with you. One just asked where to send flowers. That got a quiet chuckle from Emily, who finally relaxed into her seat. But just as the energy began to settle, Ryan, still not escorted off, let slip one more chilling detail. You're wasting your time with the audit, he said bitterly. You think we were freelancing? You really think bias just happens on its own? We were told to make first class look premium. Those were the orders, directly from a regional manager in Chicago. His exact words were, keep it clean, keep it elite. And when we started reshuffling passengers, nobody stopped us. They promoted us. Claire's jaw tightened. Names? You'll find them in your files, Ryan said. I guarantee it. Lauren didn't flinch. Thank you, she said coldly. You just gave me what I needed. She turned to Claire. I want full internal reviews. All hiring and promotion decisions for the last 2 years. Any manager who used coded language or informal bias cues, they're suspended pending investigation. Claire nodded. Already pinged legal. Compliance is standing by. Sarah stepped back in, suddenly stricken. I think I've heard that phrase too. Keep it clean. I didn't question it. Lauren looked at her, not unkindly. Now you will. Outside the aircraft, the sky darkened as twilight settled over JFK, but inside the plane, a new day had begun. Olivia posted her final clip before takeoff. Horizon CEO replaces crew and starts airline reform before leaving the ground. Within an hour, it was trending on every major platform. Ethan's video, titled Lauren Carter's New Era, crossed 500,000 views. The top comment read, "She didn't board the plane expecting a fight, but she didn't back down from one either." Another, "This isn't just a CEO. This is a woman rewriting the rules." Lauren sat back, exhaled, and looked out the window as the jet taxied toward the runway, not just as a passenger, not just as an owner, but as a leader who refused to let injustice fly, not even once. The wheels touched down in Chicago just after twilight, the runway lights casting long streaks across the fuselage like a quiet exhale after the storm. In first class. The atmosphere was calm now, steady, almost reverent. Passengers who had once sat silent were now smiling softly, nodding respectfully toward Lauren Carter as if they were still trying to believe what they had just witnessed. She stood as the aircraft taxied, thanked the new crew with quiet sincerity, and walked off the jet bridge not just as CEO of Horizon Airlines, but as a woman who had changed the course of her company's future in less than 10 minutes of pre-boarding chaos. That evening, she kept her promise, attending the charity gala alongside Emily, who wore a freshly cleaned suit and carried herself like a woman who had been seen, heard, and defended. Applause broke out as they entered the ballroom. News had traveled fast, but the real reckoning came the next morning in a closed-door boardroom overlooking the city skyline. Lauren sat at the head of the long, polished table across from Robert Thompson, head of operations, and Lisa Mitchell, chief legal officer. Claire stood to her right, a digital tablet filled with incident reports, video evidence, and flight logs. "The investigation confirms everything," Lisa said. "The forgery, the racial profiling, the bribery, and worse, it's not isolated." Lauren nodded once. "Terminations for Jessica, Ryan, and David are confirmed and documented?" "Effective immediately," Lisa replied. "Severance denied, legal waivers issued." "And the phrase 'keep it clean, keep it elite'," Robert added grimly, "found in over a dozen internal communications. 2 regional managers have already been suspended pending full investigation. We expect more." Lauren folded her hands. "The audit moves forward, retraining across all departments. Passenger complaint tracking integrated with performance reviews, and we elevate Ava Lang as the face of our new culture." Claire nodded. "She's already meeting with PR." That same hour, Horizon Airlines' social media feeds released an official statement. "We do not tolerate bias, overt or hidden. On any aircraft, we stand with our CEO, Lauren Carter, and the passengers who spoke up." Olivia's video. "Horizon CEO transforms airline before takeoff." Reached 75,000 views. Ethan's matching post. "Black CEO's victory in the skies." Crossed the 1 million mark. Comments flooded in. "Inspiring. She's a hero. True leadership is rare. This is what it looks like." Jessica's attempt to save face with a defensive X post backfired spectacularly. In it, she claimed the incident had been misunderstood and that she felt unsafe. Within hours, the post was deleted after racking up 15,000 scathing replies. One user wrote, "You didn't feel unsafe. You felt entitled." Another, "Actions have consequences. Welcome to them." At Horizon headquarters, Lauren reviewed the final list of terminated employees and approved new HR protocols. Lisa would now lead quarterly bias audits across all routes. Claire would oversee internal culture initiatives with Ava at the helm. As for Sarah Walsh, she completed a 3-day intensive retraining and submitted a formal apology to Lauren and Emily. Unprompted. Sincere. Lauren read it in silence, then quietly reinstated her with probationary oversight. "Second chances matter," she told Claire. "If we're going to build a better culture, we have to believe people can grow." But not everyone shared that spirit. Charles and Diane Bennett, now formally banned from Horizon Airlines, had lawyered up and sent a cease and desist letter to Lauren's office. The letter accused her of targeting elite passengers based on race. Lauren chuckled once and handed the envelope to Lisa. "Respond with facts and footage," she said. "I have no patience for false victimhood." Back at the gate, her inbox flooded with thank you notes from fellow passengers, some handwritten, scanned in by staff. One message read, "You didn't just protect your seat, you protected all of ours." Another simply said, "Thank you for standing tall." And in her heart, Lauren knew the work wasn't done, but something had shifted, something real. She stared out the window of her Chicago office as a Horizon aircraft soared silently into the sky. And she thought about every person who had ever been told, "You don't belong here." She thought about 22-year-old Lauren, crying quietly in a terminal after being denied first class years ago. Not because of money, but because of assumptions. And now she had reclaimed that space, for herself, and for everyone who would come after. That evening, she sat quietly at home, sipping tea, scrolling through the headlines. Her favorite was a simple blog post from a grandmother in St. Louis. The title read, "My granddaughter saw a black woman fire a racist crew today. She'll never forget that." The final words hit her harder than anything all week. "She asked me if that lady was a superhero. I said no. She's something even better. She's real." 3 months later, Horizon Airlines posted its highest satisfaction rating in a decade. Ava now oversaw diversity mentorships. Sarah led conflict resolution simulations. And Lauren? She still flew commercial, still sat in seat 1A, still carried herself with quiet strength and an eye on every detail, because her legacy wasn't just power, it was presence, and it lived at 35,000 feet.